Yes, the combine is here. The draft prospects will start separating themselves, and soon after that, free agency starts. Then not too long after that will be the draft. Then we'll finally know who the Raiders will be going into 2023 with. So while there's still room to wish, here I come with another wish list. This one is based on the Raiders taking Will Levis, whom everyone seems to be mocking them to take these days at number 7 overall. Now obviously you put a team together differently around Levis than you do Aaron Rodgers. With Rodgers, you don't have a lot of money under the salary cap, so you draft your other needs like defense and offensive line. With Levis on a rookie contract, you can spend money in free agency. This is a wish list, not a dream list, so it's reality based. I can't just take all the best players in free agency. I don't do trades either because it's not the GM of another team's job to help the Raiders. I also have to take into consideration what the Raider front office is already doing. Like they're already trying to re-sign Mike linebacker Denzel Perryman ahead of free agency. Therefore, there's no use for me to wish for a Mike linebacker. But what I can do is wish for a Will linebacker, and I'm going to stay realistic about that. I think the Raiders will go cheaper at Will linebacker as they'll have other positions to spend big money on. It was a mistake to let Nicholas Morrow walk in free agency in the first place. The new regime realized that early last season. They tried to trade for him at the deadline but couldn't pull it off. Morrow showed he can play Mike when needed and has all the athleticism and coverage skills he needs to be a solid Will in 2020. Then in 2021 he didn't play due to an injury and went on to show what he still has with the Chicago Bears in 2022. Now the new regime can get him without giving anything up. The new regime loves Jerry Tillery, and he did make the Raider defense much better when he came. But the Raiders can use even more help rushing the passer from the interior. If I'm Mark Davis, I'm telling GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels to go to Philly, and they can't come back without a cheesesteak sandwich and interior defensive lineman Javon Hargrave. Okay, maybe I can find a Philly cheesesteak somewhere here in Vegas, but don't come back without Hargrave. His 11.5 sacks are what the Raiders need on defense. He and Tillery rushing from the inside and Max Crosby and Chandler Jones on the outside would be something. Yes, I said Chandler Jones because he has another $17 million guarantee on the way, and he ain't leaving that on the table. Hey, he got better when Tillery arrived, so the presence of Hargrave should help him even more. Tillery, Hargrave, Crosby, and anyone would make a great pass rush, but let's hope Jones can turn back the clock one time here. Either way, it's hard to believe an interior pass rush still in his prime made it to free agency, so the Raiders gotta get him. I want the Raiders to resign corner Rock Ya-Sin, and James Bradberry would be a nice addition to him. Like I said before, I'm not going to go over the numbers again, but Bradberry performed like a zone corner in 2021. Then in 2022, he made second team All-Pro while allowing a catch on only 35% of his targets with no touchdowns and man coverage. If there are any concerns to have about his 2022, it's the fact that Bradberry played with Darius Slay. That means Slay took all the number 1 receivers while Bradberry had the number 2s, but he's been good against number 1s in the past. Speaking of that past, when he was in New York with the Giants, he was with defensive coordinator Patrick Graham for a spell, so he knows what's going on with Graham's defense. The bottom line is Bradberry is a good corner that can fit in any scheme. In zone coverage in 2022, he gave up catches on 55% of his targets, 0 touchdowns, and a 41.7 passer rating. Put that together with his man coverage numbers, and no wonder why he was second team All-Pro. With Ya-Sin and Bradberry outside and Nate Hobbs back in the slot, the coverage would be good. The offensive line needs some fixing too, but most of the players are already there, believe it or not. Of course, Colt Miller was in place at left tackle this year, but Dylan Parham was out of place at left guard. He was drafted to be the center, and it ain't like Andre James played well there. He should be gone, and Parham should be in that spot in 2023. The Raiders should get Ben Powers to take the left guard spot. His pass blocking efficiency rating was the 3rd best in the NFL in 2022. The Raiders especially need that to block Kansas City Chiefs interior defensive lineman Chris Jones. I hope the Raiders re-sign Jermaine Illuminor and maybe move him to right guard. His size and shorter arms would serve him well in there. Alex Bars is not starting material. I think Darren Munford will be ready to take over at right tackle. If the new regime doesn't think so, they can leave Illuminor at right tackle and draft a guard. I really like this Munford kid though, and I know the new regime loves him. He kept that battle at right tackle open for the first 6 weeks of the regular season before Illuminor took the spot. Either way, many of the pieces are already there. Well, every day the Raiders look more and more like they're going to be taking a quarterback at number 7 overall. And right now, the media thinks that guy is going to be Will Levis. Whether it be Levis or any rookie quarterback, the Raiders need to surround him with talent, and they have the means to do so with the 3rd most salary cap space in the NFL. in receiver Devontae Adams, slot receiver Hunter Renfrow, tight end Darren Waller, and running back Josh Jacobs, he's going to have a lot to work with. They can get some pieces for the interior offensive line and defense in free agency to set him up well. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. See you next time.